Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Welcome back as we take a moment today to reflect on utter disappointment in the Oilers' season opening game against the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, there's really no other way to put it, is there? That was not what we were hoping for. Maybe not what was expected or unexpected. I don't know how to put that properly, actually. Is because if you came out of the preseason having some doubts, if you came out of the preseason thinking, yeah, maybe this ain't going to work as good as we were hoping in the summertime, well, yeah, you're right. But the problem is, I'd at least think you hoped it would go better than 6-0, right? Right? We'll find out. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button on Dolynny TV here, old friends, because I'm going to tell you, we got a long season loading. If the Oilers lost 6-0 in the season opening game, I'm going to tell you this is why to subscribe, because now you get to follow the entire journey that is going from 6-0 loss on opening night to a Stanley Cup winning game in June. Just saying, because hey, let's be honest. The Oilers lost the cup by a goal. The Oilers got outscored by 7 goals in the regular season opener last year. We got outscored by 6. You tack on one less goal against. Oh, man. Suddenly it lines up much better this year in the Stanley Cup final. That's a lot of copium. Just saying. Just trying to soften the blow a bit here on not a great, follow-up to what should have been a better night last night against the Winnipeg Jets. And that's where I think the biggest thing I can say is I'm not angry. I'm not about to go sit here and wear the squirrel suit or kind of do any of the antics from last year in early November, mid-November, early December. It really comes down to, for me at this point, yeah, okay, we did this last year. Look what happened. Let's go. Let's get this job done. And I think the disappointment level truly comes in from an Edmonton Oilers perspective simply because, what do we know, right? What do we know about that disappointment? Well, it was supposed to be a night in which you raised a banner. You didn't even do that. And I'm not trying to come down on the Oilers team, the Oilers event staff, the Oilers organizational structuring of opening night in terms of not raising the Western Conference banner. I know the messaging all week leading up to the home opener was, look, we're moving on from last year, right? The opening montage was starting over from Chris Stapleton, which, by the way, friends, I mean, unbelievable soundtrack to a lot of what my life has played out to be down here in southern Alberta since leaving Cold Lake several years back. But let's be honest as well. I get it. We didn't raise the banner, but it just felt all night that it just didn't quite have the gusto maybe it was supposed to for what was supposed to be the kickoff to a Stanley Cup season like last night. But ultimately, hey, you know what? The same could be said about last year, and it worked out pretty dang good. I mean, if we go back to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, I'll take my chances. Even a 50-50 chance means we probably win the Cup this year. So, yeah, I mean, that's where the disappointment comes in, is there's things that could have been better, and that's ultimately all it is. The Oilers' effort could have been better. It should have been better, but it wasn't. Game 1 of 82. We got a long way to go before we start passing judgment. And I think the other thing, more or less, getting me through this whole situation here, talking about it today, and obviously trying to understand for you what's going on out there, is, Bob Stauffer said it best while Patrick Brennan and I were up in Studio 99 last night. Simply, it comes down to 20%, 25% of the opening night roster will not be on the opening night of round 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. That's what Bob Stauffer said. He expects 2 or 3 new forwards up front by the time we get to the playoffs and another defenseman on the back end. That leaves 20%. Now, allow room for one injury to change the course of things, or Evander Kane to come back from injury. As he said, he's a wild card. And suddenly, just like that, you've got 25% of your roster overhauled from who started the opening night game in a 6-0 loss against the Winnipeg Jets. So, like that, there's a lot of ways you can cope with this. There's a lot of ways you can frame it. But again, that doesn't ease the fact that there was disappointment in all of this because the Oilers quite simply just did not deliver the goods last night. And that is, of course, the toughest part, is when the Oilers should be delivering the goods at times where they promise they're going to deliver the goods, as they have all preseason, all summer, where they said, we're going to start better, we got to start better, we're going to be better, we're going to get on time, we're going to pay attention to details. They didn't do that last night. And as an Oilers fan who's been there, done that a million times over, it feels like in a span of 20 years this next fall. Wow. It's something you've gotten used to, right? The Oilers traditionally start slow, or they start out hot and then get slow in November. Yeah, I mean, let's be serious, right? This is not to the norm for the Oilers on an opening night. Even you think back 2-3 years ago, what was it, the game against Vancouver at home to kick off the season that we won 5-3 or whatever. We started that game with Jack Campbell in net, giving up 3 straight goals in the first period, and we were down 3-0 after 1. So maybe here, and last year we lost 4-3 on home ice to kick off the season after the 8-1 beating. And honestly, that 4-3 game was about, probably, outside of being able to high-five your buddies a couple of times during the game, about as entertaining as the 6-0 loss last night, to be honest with you. I remember walking away from that one pretty bitter as well. But it's just something that maybe in more recent memory I've been accustomed to, just simply because it's par for the course. And maybe next year I just don't go to the home opener and we spare ourselves the catastrophe. Just saying. I could be sitting here wearing a squirrel suit instead, and maybe it'll all work out. But me aside, friends, that's kind of where my thoughts are following Edmonton Oilers season opening disappointment here to begin 2024-2025. I appreciate you hanging out with me here tonight. I'll tell you that much. It was good hanging out down at Rogers last night, and I'm looking forward to being back at Rogers Place start of next month. We got a little special event, not hockey, that we got to get up to there in Edmonton. So I look forward to that. But for right now, friends, I'm going to let you get up on Oda here. And of course, have yourself a great night. There was news today. Who cares about Raphael Lavoie being on waivers? When it's all said and done and we know what's happening for sure 100% finally, I'll let you know. But for now, let's just enjoy not enjoying last night. I'm up on Oda here.